Good morning, people. Whoa. Be back on the mic. There we go. That's better. Morning, morning, morning. Okay, so our sentiment yesterday started to play out, didn't it? We were looking, hopefully some of you got that, all right? Yesterday we were looking for that gap fill to the downside. I kept talking about it. I felt like that gap fill to the downside would be soaked up off the cash gap. We got it. And then we traded upside. Unfortunately, we didn't get the follow through in yesterday's session. And as always, London had the fun. And we're just extending that move currently, searching for liquidity, all right, through these levels. We can see these highs here. We're aiming for these stops now. So we're through the first level, 600, next level sort of 650, and then into 680, 690. And then we have an extension up. We will be outside the huge 12 or now 13-day balance range, which means every single stop that's been in here for the last few weeks from the short side is about to get their faces ripped off, all right, which is what I was looking for yesterday. I forget who said, they asked me if I thought it was a head and shoulders on the hourly, and I said I felt like it was more of a trap, and here you go. So that failed breakout or failed breakdown that we had on Wednesday that got soaked, once we turned back inside, that was the clue saying shorts were well and truly stuck, and we're continuing to trade upside now. So if we look at the daily, where can we go? We can pop all these highs over here and notice how we talked about this the last few days. If we start to trap under here and turn inside, reclaim 20-day and 5-day, the Bollinger Band will start to expand upside. We will start trading up with this Bollinger Band, and the 5-day will start supporting price like this. Really, really textbook kind of move here when you want to study liquidity, all right? Here were all the stops. We broke down underneath it in that Wednesday sell-off, but we closed back inside the range, the bottom of the range, and then we gapped up, and now we're going to hunt the other side of it. All right, like I said yesterday, everyone laughed, but NQ is an absolute liquidity whore. That is its job. The hard thing today was getting involved, all right? It's really hard when we're gapping up over 100 points and we're just driving to the upside. Just to bear in mind, we've got news dropping here in about 90 seconds or just over 90 seconds. All right, so just be aware of that. Did I get a piece? I did get a piece. I probably sold too early, but I took this very simple flag breakout, holding flow zones for the extension up. So what did I get in that? First entry was at 61. I added on the way up 67, added more at 77, scalped some out, added more at 95, and sold all in front of 15. So not bad there, about a 60-odd point move there. Not a bad way to start the day, is it? But yeah, getting involved in these can be a little tricky. Oh, I'm blurred. All right, let me jump out the camera and then come straight back in. Hopefully that fixes it. Turn this up a bit as well. All right, there we go. So good morning, everyone. Morning, Mindful Matters. Array, Ramus, Jeff, John S, Asa, Tyson, Aaron. Yes, I'm feeling much better. I think it was food poisoning. So the night before I'd gone out for Italian food locally with a friend of mine, actually a fellow trader in chat, Glenn, and he got sick before me. I didn't know, we didn't talk to each other. So he was sick about 12 hours before me, but feeling much, much better today, as you can probably tell in my energy. All right, so we're coming into that news, all right? Consumer sentiment in about 15 seconds, and a new H1 and H4 bar, all right? So just be careful here. If you're holding runners, all right, hold your runners, that's fine, but don't be holding big size at this top here. We might get expansion up, it might just get an absolute death candle down and then get soaked up. We don't know what we're going to get, but definitely have targets upside. All right, we definitely have these targets upside. 280, 290, sorry, 680, 690. Can't believe I'm saying twos. We're so far higher than that now, and we're on a ripper. All right, so NQ now back to that old range we talked about. 890 to 900, the target on the NQs. Just look at that H1, zoom out, make sure you understand where supply is, where the liquidity is. Once we pop through here at 685, 690, we have room to expand. All right, we have room to expand. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for ways I can get involved, really. Ideally bullish. Don't really want to be buying up here now unless we absolutely rip through, pull back, base above that 680, 690. I can think about getting involved. Just going to let this consumer sentiment settle down for a minute, let liquidity come back on the book, because it will trade very thin for a moment. A really nice trade to start the day is exactly what I needed. Would have preferred, I talked about it in chat, I would have preferred another trap lower. You know, unfortunately, the one downside to trading with prop firms is you can't play swings. You need to be closed out by 5 o'clock. Otherwise, I would have held on to those longs yesterday. So anyone that didn't see, you can head over to the community community tab in YouTube. You'll see the longs I took yesterday after we put in that W shape on the double bottom, closing the gap. We had SMT, because the SPY fully closed the cash gap. The NQ closed to 5 o'clock, but not 4 o'clock. So here's the push now. Searching that liquidity above into 690. Cannot be bearish on this, right? Momentum. We always talk about the two things you need to understand is what is the momentum in the market and what is the location. Right, yesterday we had really good location in the market for buys and we had no momentum. Today we've got really good momentum and not great location, right? So swings are having a lot of fun. Good morning, Michael, and good morning, Eva. Good morning, both. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully, some of you are in this long. If some of you traded overnight, some of you, those of you based in London, Aaron, I think you were in London, maybe some others, maybe Tyson, maybe you got a bit of this long from overnight. If you did, beautiful. I mean, the 15-minute and 5-minute is just on an absolute tear. So I got a piece of it, probably sold a little bit too early. Probably should have held that runner for this move in towards 700. We know all the stops are there. But you will now have shorts fighting this, all right? And I don't mean fighting like they're going to make this come down. They're just going to start smashing into this short side, hoping that it's going to rotate back into range. It's not going to do that. It might do that for a short period and then get soaked. There are no shorts here today. This is a long setup. It was a long setup as soon as we closed inside the range after Wednesday. Understand where the traps are. So now you understand why I was so long biased yesterday for a deep pullback. Nice, Aaron. Good work. 6K gain over the last few weeks is very good. Good work. Don't get money dysmorphia, yeah? Very easy to get money dysmorphia. $6,000 or £6,000, I think in your case, is a lot of money. In a couple weeks, it's 12 grand a month. It's a lot of money. 140 odd thousand a year. Tax free, yeah, beautiful. So ES is looking to tag into that 5,900 psychological level. Notice the VIX just absolutely getting decimated today. Trading back downside, back towards its old pivot low, which was 1805. That was a low from 22nd of October. I'm watching the ETFs as well because they're coming into key levels. So the QQQ is right into 500, right? That psychological level. Probably have an options wall up there. Did we take liquidity at that high then? Did we break that high? We did. All right, so NQ did sweep that high and take the liquidity. So I have to be aware of that. But I'm still prefer longs today. I don't really want to buy high. I would love some form of trap to get involved in, but I prefer longs. I'm on a 2-minute here. I can move this to a 1 minute if you guys prefer. There we go. So no reason to be short. The only reason to be short will be if we start to fail up here after sweeping liquidity. It'll be the only reason to short. So I don't know if you're following anyone else, but if anyone else has been short this morning session, you are watching the wrong type of person. All right, they're just guessing tops. There is no short setup. Look, straight up. If we zoom back, straight up. This is trend up, straight up, straight up. This is your W pattern yesterday. All right, clean this up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. This is where I bought yesterday. White line was the gap fill, filled the gap, came back inside, low risk entry, W pattern, flag. We ran out of room end of day and it just did it overnight. And ever since then, longs have been in control, shorts have been completely trapped, right? So never guess tops, never force yourself on the market and don't chase either. We're very extended here, right? We are very, very extended here off the open. Let's go from that opening print. But honestly, I just think that this will just make bear trap after bear trap today. That's the old high. I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's put an anchored view up off today's open as well. We need shorts to get trapped, all right? We don't want to buy high. We need shorts to be trapped in this. Look for some form of trap pattern. Something underneath a pivot is what I'm always looking for, ideally. So yes, you might get a flag down to here, but something underneath this will be perfect. I'm only going to consider shorts if we start to put in consistent, right? And it will be scalp shorts because it will be counter trend if we start to put in consistent. Come on, trading V, help me out. If we put in a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then I can think about it. But it will be scalp, all right? Because this is counter trend. Momentum is very much upside today. Marek, good morning. Good morning, Chris. So did any of you catch that flag play this morning, just after the open? I would have loved to have bought that open, but the risk was just too big. So I just waited and I started entering in about 9.43, 9.44. Did anyone else get that? Alonso, yes, same as me, waiting for that healthy pullback now, waiting for the healthy pullback. It is, ES has come back and tested an old high, right, broke through it and is testing a whole old high. Array caught the same move, good work. Small piece Tyson. Did anyone get the London long or an Asia long and hold? Did anyone manage to get something there? We talked about it yesterday. It'd be great to live in Europe right now because they are getting some amazing moves. We're getting follow through in New York of London frequently right now. So if you can pick up the long in London frequently, New York's just extending that range at the moment. Alonso, you got it. Wow. Very jealous. Very jealous. So we have talked about this when we condense in range. When we condense in range, we had 13 days condensed here. We did the failed breakdown underneath. That became the Wyckoff spring. Traded inside. If we start extending to the upside today or maybe next week, we are in a very, very bullish market then. All right, it's amazing how quickly sentiment changes, doesn't it? On Wednesday, it felt like the world was going to end. And by Thursday, we were bullish, thinking we're going to rotate. Array, good work, good work. What's up, South Cacdad? Hope you're good, my friend. Hope everyone in chat is good. Hope you're going to have a great weekend ahead. Just remember, it's Friday. Don't do anything stupid on Friday. We've had a decent week here. You do not want to end your week with a nasty day. It doesn't matter if you're red. It's fine to be red. We all lose. Just don't do anything stupid where you're going to kick yourself all weekend. We talk about it all the time. Friday is the worst day to take an unnecessary loss because you have to mull it over all weekend. And we're human beings and we do that. I feel loads better, Alonso. Thank you. Feel much, much better. Michael, you got long on the trendline break this morning on ES at the open. Out too early, 3-to-1 bracket order. Hey, 3-to-1 bracket order is great. Look, you're never going to get the whole move, right? In trading, you're never going to get the whole move. Where did I sell today? I sold at 6.15, you know, so I could have held a lot longer as well. You're never, ever going to get the whole move. Right, holding flow zones for now. Ideally, I don't really want to see a flag. I actually want to see it dunk underneath this level here and reclaim, but we might not get what I want. We might not get what I want. I'd love to see just some short-term sellers come in, trap the buyers at the highs, dunk it down, soak it and go again, but we might not get it. Notice the pullback, low volume, the extension up, high volume. So this is telling us we're very, very bullish this morning for potential moves higher. Right, watch the volume. Look at that low volume pullback, volume coming in for this extension up now. Remember, this is the old high. If we can get through this, and if we can get through this current high, we can really start to extend on a flag. If it fails, they're going to go for that sort of trap play. What's everyone's plans this weekend? How many of you are gamers? How many of you are going to play the new Call of Duty today? Black Ops 6 or whatever it's called. My phone has been popping off with old university mates and old friends all around the world wanting to get together. I do find it funny. It's the one time where guys that I haven't spoken to and seen in years want to hang out virtually online. But I do love gaming, so that's fine. 125 orders sitting at 700. Yeah, I see it. 126 orders and then a little bit above. And then you've got another lot of 75 orders sitting up, or they were there. He's just pulled it at 750. Let's see what we get here. Do we get a deeper move down? Remember, this is the New York session view up down here at 600. Don't want to get trapped buying high. It's what we always talk about. Decent amount of volume has just been built up here. Aaron, you have a PS5 collecting dust. Well, it's not a bad thing. It means you're doing other things which are probably far more important than playing games, you know? This is your short-term pivot right here, which it just, did it sweep it? I'm gonna have to zoom into this. Did it double bottom it and leave it to take? It might have double bottomed it. Swept it by a tick. Okay. Maybe this will be it. Maybe. I still prefer deeper here. Looking at M5, M15, we're so extended. So you notice bonds all red on the day. That helped give the market the move higher. We talked about that inflationary pressure that was coming in when bonds broke out, bonds having a pullback day. NQ came very close to that old pivot low. Sorry, NQ, God, come on, Alex. VIX came very close to that old pivot low, 1823 into 18. Yeah, still basing above that 5,890, all right, that old level we were talking about for the last few weeks. It's still basing above there for now. So is this going to be the long? Have they trapped enough here? I want to see it get through 72 really. This imbalance that we have here, can it get through and squeeze above? Still danger of a much deeper pullback here. Remember, we're very extended, so you have to be very cautious looking at this. Nothing confirmed yet. But ES is holding that key level that it broke out above. Still think there's room to do a deep pullback here, a wash pullback. So if you're new to here, or if you're here every day, I'm very, very thankful for you being here. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. Help me grow the stream. We're growing week on week, day by day, slowly getting bigger and stronger. Had some nice winners in the room the last few days. Here we go, looking very, very good here. Now, can it get through this level, sort of 73, 75? A squeeze through that opens the gate for that move in towards 700. So I'm looking to see if I can participate in this now. As we're holding the flow zones, we built the flag. I really want to see it get through this imbalance. I do not want to see sellers step in this level. I want to see us get through it, hold and go. Getting stuck there so far. Is a bear flag, bull flag my favorite entry? No, definitely not my favorite entry pattern. Favorite entry pattern is something like a W or an inverse head and shoulders on a micro pattern where we are leaving a clear point of interest after sweeping liquidity. That's my favorite entry model by far. So like yesterday, that was my favorite entry model. Right, yesterday we went and closed a cash gap, so we were able to buy low instead of buying high. Okay, so we didn't get through that, so no entry. We were able to buy low instead of high, so we swept the liquidity and we did a big move up, giving us a change of character. We pulled back into the area where we knew buyers were, and then we could buy low very cheap for a multiple R run up. That's my favorite entry model because it gives us very low risk and very big reward. I do not like what I'm looking at here in general because I'm having to buy high. I don't like buying highs. Like the general rule is you want to buy low. Where was the best buy? If we zoom right the way out, the best buy is where I bought yesterday. The best buy was down here. The next best buy was probably here. Then we've chopped and built liquidity. The next best buy was here at 8 AM and then here at the open. Now we're way up. So it's not ideal. So what we have to do now is basically play off momentum. Has this... Oh no. Having problems with my keyboard here. It's not charging properly. That is disappointing. Yeah, my keyboard's dead. Well, that's going to make it hard today, isn't it? It's plugged in as well. Might be time for a new one. There we go. Still building out here. Yeah, so I'm always looking to buy where I can in demand. Right now, we're in supply, but we've peaked through that supply. So what we're doing is we're asking the question is, are those sellers going to become buyers? Are they going to be forced to cover? Are we going to squeeze them out of the move? That's what we're asking the question of. Still, look at the volume, very low volume on these pullbacks. All right, if we get a spike in volume, it should be an upside move. We have now swept this. I still think I would have preferred a deeper move here, but when momentum's this strong, it's very, very tricky. Buyers are definitely in full control on the session, not necessarily up here, but on the session, they're in control. This imbalance is still key that we talked about. Same level. That seller is still there at 700. So still this imbalance here on a lower time frame, right? From this impulse move down right here. It's what we need to get through. Get through that, we open the gate for that higher move. Again, you're buying high here. If you're going to buy this, you can wait for the confirmation, but you are buying high here. This is a momentum play, so you have to be aggressive with your stops and taking runners and partials. You have to be aggressive with that. It's not the same as buying low and letting the trade work. It's a very different play when you're playing momentum on the upside. Let me get a close above, that's looking better. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Looking for this long now. See if we can extend and turn the squeeze on. Looking a little better here. Can we get through this first pivot on the lower time frame of 85? Through that, we should come straight into and towards 700. Don't want to get trapped at the highs though. So again, be proactive with your moves. ES has room up to 905 if it can get through 900, that psychological level. Yeah, that's a 1 minute you're looking at. Here comes the squeeze, looking good here. So I'm in this long, I'm gonna be proactive. I wanna see it rip through 85, go straight through 700 and continue upside. Looking beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Don't wanna see sellers coming in the tape here. I wanna see them get run over. Gonna take one partial there. Nice. Can we get through this high of day into 700? Looking great. Can we get that 700? Taking one more off, holding my runner now. Really nice. There you go. Hopefully you can see that. I'll zoom that down. All right, just holding this runner now for that extension upside. Yeah. So once we got through that imbalance, started looking good. So joining momentum. This is looking fantastic now. Just need to see it run through 700. Run and base over it. Don't want to see it come all the way back down. Please don't come all the way back down. Just continue to squeeze higher. Might need to retest 90s here. Moving my stop up. Don't want it to be a clear out and fail, you see. I'm watching 900 on the ES, looking good. Come on, get through 900 ES, just rip through it. So close. Come on, ES. Come on, ES. There you go. Come on, ES. Now, NQ, get following. Failing there at 900 again. Are they going to hold this pivot into 90s? Or is that just a stop, run and fail? That's the question now. So if we fail this, we can think about this liquidity being used the other way. And then under here will either be a trap or continuation. So I'm out there, runner didn't go for me, locked in. Like I said, when you're playing momentum, you have to be more aggressive. Happy to re-add on this and start a new position. But I have to be aggressive because we're coming into highs. When we're coming into highs and we're buying high, you need to take profits off the table, right? Like I keep saying, it's very different to playing a trend off the lows. If this trade worked for me yesterday, all right, I would have been buying, what was I buying yesterday? Around 285, and I could just sit in this all day and let it work. When we're buying high, you have to be more aggressive. When I'm saying more aggressive, I don't mean with your size, I mean with taking profit. But what we don't do is guess tops. Oh my God. I'm having an absolute nightmare here with my computer. Time for a new keyboard, it seems. So that psychological level on ES key. If you look at the QQQ, 500 also key. So on the ETF, we are at 500, probably an option wall there, I would have thought. All right, probably some expiries into end of week around there for calls being sold into. I don't know that, I'm not watching the options chain, but those whole numbers would seem highly probable to me. Mag 7 all green on the day, bonds all red on the day. Ask yourself, should you be looking for shorts? All right, should you be looking for shorts? From what I understand, one of the big channels was looking for shorts this morning. one of the big channels, which is a prop firm, getting all their traders stuck. Absolutely insane. There is no short setup here. Look at this. Even if this is your pivot on an M1, this is the low that created the high. Do we ever close below this? No. We sweep the liquidity and move upside. Bullish setups, bullish traps. When we're at highs, we look for bear traps, which are bullish moves. When we're at lows, we look for bull traps. So under 900 now, ES. Hopefully some of you got a piece of that with me and locked some in. Let's see if it holds this retest now, right? This is the old area. Let's see if it holds this retest. We can even do a lower time frame. Come on, computer, please catch up with me. Right, coming back to 50% here of this current move. So does it hold this and go again? Everything so far is a pullback, right? Everything so far is a pullback. There is no reason to think short. We will think short if and when the market becomes very, very obvious. Come on, computer, please. Fails and we get under here and we get clear failure and a rotation down. Guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on this morning. It is really struggling with my mouse and keyboard for some reason. Right, the only short will be closures underneath these levels, and then we can look for a rotation into deep pullback. This is the New York session VWAP and overnight VWAP. All right, we can look for these moves and open. All right, if it gets under here and closes under, not if it traps under. Otherwise, we are staying bullish. All right, look at the top right. We are in trend condition bullish. If I zoom out, higher time frame algo, lower time frame algo, deep pullback, momentum, flow zones. This is how we like to see things stacked for bullish moves, right? This is how we know buyers are in absolute control. Exactly, Michael. No shorts until we have change of character and break of structure. So can this be another flag? Absolutely it can. Can it soak? Absolutely it can. Look at your M5. I'm going to take you down to an M5. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, computer's absolutely on one. Sorry guys. Look at the M5, we're just holding. Can you see this? I'll make sure you can see this. Flag on the M5, all right? Alonso, what was your potential pullback level for ES? All right, ES, I was watching that dance around 90. 890 was an old level. 892 actually was a very specific level of an old high, but 890 was a level for the last few weeks that I left on my chart. All right, so once it pulled back into 890 and held, reclaimed 892, that flag was a go for the upside, 5-minute flag for upside. Guys, if I don't get this computer resolving itself soon, because I'm really struggling to move my mouse around, I might have to do a reset and close the stream, but hopefully it fixes itself. Yeah, you see it? Good, Alonso. Michael, everyone watching the stream take the course. That would be nice, wouldn't it? If we were all on the same page, it would make everyone understand what I'm talking about without having to explain it all the time. Yeah, the course is on sale till the end of the month. Right, $399, one-time fee, get the course. You get my flow zones, which is everything you're seeing on screen. And there's another flow zone for higher time frame, which you get for free, and you get Discord. All right, so those of you in Discord should have got some of the long setups we were looking at yesterday. Definitely, if you're trading overnight, you are prepared for long continuation. This is looking good for continued upside moves here. What you don't want to see is too much volume build up here without an expansion higher. That's when bulls will get trapped. We are building a point of control up here. So you just want to see it just rip faces, right? I want to see it just rip upside. So far that pullback, if we think about this, flag, breakout, pullback, pullback's held, We expect expansion, new flag, expansion. That's what we're looking for. Maybe a double bottom, expansion. If we get like a kill candle, like a big candle down here, comes back, rejects here, then we can talk about whether shorts are in play. Right, initial balance now set. So we also need to be aware of the initial balance. Initial balance today is big. 217 points initial balance, right? So like we talk about always, trend days above the initial balance high when we hold above it. Failed auctions when we break above and we come back inside for those rotations. Yesterday we had a failed auction to the downside, all right? If we do that failed auction, we can target the VWAPs on the initial balance. This is a big move. This is a big move today. 270 points from the open to the high, all right? So IB is all the way down here with VWAP, IB low that is. If you don't understand initial balance, there is a free lesson on my YouTube. I think I currently have it set on the homepage. It is worth watching. If you are one of the traders that can't identify when we're in chop, when we're in range, when we're in trend, that will help you. Foster Scott, have a great weekend, buddy. Hope you had a good week. Looking good here to me for just continuation higher, all right? Seller still on the book at 50s, 750s. So ideally a trap low. I'm always looking for a trap low when we're at the highs. I'm always want a trap low when we're at the highs. It's my favorite setup when we're at the highs because it traps in short term or lower time frame shorts, right? Because there's no higher time frame shorts in this. This mouse is buggered. Maybe if I just slam it a few times, it'll work, eh? Caveman instinct, isn't it? It's not working, so I'll just smash it on the desk. Yes, Rob, the course is 20 hours long from start to finish. I know that's a long time. For some people, it might put them off, but it's very in-depth. If you've traded before, you can probably skip through some of the earlier stuff, but it's important you understand why the market does what it does. But it's on demand. You can come back to it as many times as you want. And there's all sorts of other stuff in there as well. Breathing exercises, how to reset your central nervous system when you've had a bad day. Lots of stuff which many would consider outside of trading. Most of it is technical analysis, but some of it I put in some psychological stuff to help people, because I think psychology, for me, once you understand technical analysis, really psychology is what stops everyone winning, all right? Because most people can't take a loss. They can't walk away when they're losing. And that's why most people lose. They oversize, they overstretch, they push and push and push when they're down and they blow up. You can just get used to taking small losses. Your life trading gets much easier, believe me. So battleground here, 900. Right, so the hive day on ES, 5,900.75. We look like we want to expand, but we need to respect the initial balance right now. We need to also respect that initial balance is 217 points large. We need to look at the H1. We need to look at the point of control, current point of control in the session. We said we need to be careful. If we fail beneath these point of control where this volume's been built up, 675, we can back test the hourly to 650. If we start failing 650, 640, look how thin the volume gets under here, all the way down to the open. This is thin structure. That's where I'd be concerned. Failures underneath 640. 640 on the lower time frame is basically where we did that stop run down here. So this is why I was saying, I'm not thinking short until we're into, my mouse has stopped yet again, until we're into that gap. I'm going to really struggle to trade here. If I can't use a mouse and if I can't use my hotkeys, I don't know what I'm going to do. Here's a question for you, Rob Drag. Does a 20-hour course seem intimidating for you? Or do you view that as, oh, that's good value for money? How do you view that? And be honest, it's fine to be honest. Or anyone else in chat. who hasn't done the course, do you think, does 20 hours sound like, wow, that's a lot, that's too much? Or is it more that, oh, I can get my teeth into that? Candy Cane. That is music to my ears. I absolutely love that. So Candy said, been away this week, but passed the 50k challenge. Wanted to say thank you. Watching my channel and videos has been key in helping them. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for joining us every single day. $660, yeah, that retest, Scotty, that trap under. I can see what you're looking at. This kind of level here. Come on, mouse. 660, 670. But for me, that point of control down to 640 as well is really, really key. Tim V, thank you very much. Appreciate it. DJ Noah, 199 interested. What, you mean you want the course at 199? I can't do that, my friend. I'm not Patrick Wyland giving you a 2-hour course. The indicator alone is worth more than the price of the course. I'm really sorry. Cannot do that. Too much value in the course. If you can't spend $3.99 on a course with an indicator that powerful in Discord, you're gonna get, I'm not charging thousands like these other people, but I can't be doing it for $1.99 to learn what a bull flag is. Bogdan Bruce, making your way through the course, good work. Good work. It gets more intense and more in depth as you get further on. It starts off a little bit easier. Illegal immigrant. A shot of Crown Royal resets my nervous system. I'm assuming that's some form of liquor, is it? I'm not familiar with it. So looking here to see if they can set that bear trap near the highs, or if too much volume and too many bulls have participated trying to buy high here and they're going to get washed out. So I'm just hands off here. Like I said, I locked in. So ES might want to come back and check that 92 level and 90 level. Really struggling here with my mouse today. I've had some major tech issues this week. Very frustrating. Oh, it's a whiskey. I do like a whiskey. Not normally with a Coke, though. Straight up. I used to drink Scotch until I moved to America. Now I can't drink Scotch anymore. It tastes too peaty for me now. Because you all drink bourbon here, and I've got used to like the more sweeter caramel taste. My cupboard's absolutely full of whiskey. Dreadful. So Lebisque saying, compared to what she's paid for before, it's way less and the price was amazing. And there's a lot of, Marek saying, a lot of knowledge, $3.99 is a bargain. So you all think it's priced well, I appreciate that. Yeah, capped whenever you're ready. Never a rush. I'm not trying to hard sell here. Whenever you're ready. Until then, just turn up on stream every day. I try and teach as much as I can while I'm streaming. So a nice hold there and a nice push. What's the time now? 5 minutes until a new 15-minute bar. We've got a new 5-minute bar here. looking good on the reaction underneath that internal low of 70. All right, this sweep here holding this old range where we found buyers. All right, this is where buyers came in. We've swept this move. This might be a flag, and maybe now we can get that extension. That's the question. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking about in my head. Lifetime Doji, a weird day. Setups made sense. I had great patience. Price just went against me today. Dropped 100 points, but on a couple micros only. Oh, do you mean dropped $100 or 100 points? So no big deal. One of them days. Hope the Dodgers do better. 100 points. 100 points is quite a big move to sit through. Yeah, Eva, I think we've all been there as traders before. You do courses, they can be very, very expensive, and they can be a complete waste of time and money, and you just pick up bad habits. There was a point in my career where I was paying like $100 a month or $110 a month to be in a room, which was, I'm not going to name him, which was absolutely terrible. I picked up some really bad habits. I ended up being an educator and moderator in that room. I ended up falling out with the guy in that room. He wanted to pay me to be there, a very low, pathetic fee. And I didn't do it because I ended up, every single trade he wanted to take, I wanted to be on the other side of it. So I ended up leaving and joining a room with, I don't know if any of you guys traded small caps, with a bunch of guys from S&P Capital and other guys like JJ Ryan and Laser Wolf. And we had a really good small cap room for a while. And we also used to, this is a bit bad really, but we used to pay for a membership to Warrior Trading, split between a bunch of us. And we'd have it on Discord, and we'd be taking the other side of the trade to him because we knew he would love to pump the stocks up pre-market on those small caps. And once he started exiting, we'd start taking the short. That was good fun for a while. Yeah, DJ, there is tons of garbage out there. There is tons and tons and tons of garbage out there. It's a dangerous industry. It's why I almost didn't do the course in many ways, because I didn't want to get put into the same bracket as a lot of these other people. And you notice I keep my nose pretty clean. I saw all that stuff on Twitter the other day, kicking off between pretty big influencers. I've seen all the stuff happening between all the prop firms slagging each other off. Like I always say, it's you versus you. You don't need to worry about what anyone else is doing. You just need to focus on your own trading. 1% better each day. Stick to your game plan, stick to your setups, stick to your risk management, and you will have success. If you get involved in all the bullshit and all the hatred talk, you're just getting yourself in a negative competitive mindset, which is counterintuitive for trading. So here comes the pullback then. So are we now going to sweep, resweep these kind of levels here? Remember, this is deep pullback. This orange line is VWAP off the 930 open, okay? So it's anchored just off the 930 open. Because we had such a big push today, I wanted to see where those buyers' average price was for this session, and it's in the deep pullback space. All right, so if we start dying here, like I talked about, we're going to go back over this. Why I was very cautionary up here, if these buyers up here got trapped at that point of control, look how thin this is all the way down to the open. All right, that's the danger. We do have an old pivot here at 600, which we broke through. Illegal immigrant, you can't pick up any bad habits, you already have them all. Well, let's get that out of you. Most people that come to me have a few bad habits, and I've normally had these bad habits. Normally, it's picking tops and bottoms. Normally, that's what it is. It's either that or it's chasing without structure, right? It's literally the whole reason I designed this system. If you've got flow zones in front of you, which are telling you to buy, right? Pullback buy, there would be a buy signal earlier in the morning. There's your buy signal, pullback buy signal. Everything's blue and green. At the time, all the time frames was telling you you wanted to trend bullish. Why try and pick the top, right? We will move into a cycle of a sell. We will move into a sell. If we start rolling over and we start getting heavy on retests, we're moving to a sell. You can take an easy short here, but it will tell you. But this will move down, the flow zones will move down and we'll get stuck against it. And ideally they'll move under the deep pullback. Right now I'm still thinking about that potential trap. If we get heavy under these levels, think about rotation. Oh, Ray, you're so good with that. I'm really sorry. Okay, here we go. Why think about shorts when we're in buy signals up, and we were in buy signals all morning? Shorts will become obvious because we will flip flow zones to shorts. All right, but any short today is a pullback short only. So if we have a short today, all right, let's say we do this and we pull back to here. Remember, that's just a pullback on an H1 for a flag, and then H1 will probably want to continue upside once it's finished pulling back. Yeah. So shorts are counter trend today. Even if we set up the short against flow zones and we start getting underneath this key level here, get rid of this now. If we start breaking down, you've got to be in a see money, take money type mood on the short side. Yep, Scotty, exactly. Into the key level. We're going to start to get thin here. We're also at the hourly exchange, right? So the previous close of the previous hour, I've got to make my head right, 11, the 10 a.m. hourly bar close is where we are right now. If we get through that and we start getting heavy, it opens the door to reprice. So I'd be looking at those old wicks. I'd be looking at 600, 578. Do we get a bounce there? If we don't, we're going to come way back into range. We can come all the way down to 500. All right, so when we buy high, we're aggressive with our stops. If it doesn't work, we leave it. After that, we wait. That's very, very possible. The initial balance trade for a rotation, we didn't get above it. So technically, if we're in range, yes, you can trade back to VWAP. This is the first VWAP I'll be looking at though. And here, the problem is just this trap level. It's going to become more obvious if we break down, come here and then go. But yeah, who said that? DJ. Technically, yes. Technically, we're failing the IB high. But my bias on the day is longs. So I wasn't really looking for the short here. I was waiting to see if the trap's there. If we'd done, let's say, this is a better short versus this down. So this is the New York VWAP, remember. Want to be careful here if they trap. If they return back inside here and they've just stopped all these bulls out, you want to be careful if you're looking for that short. I'm just hands off right now. VIX is starting to move off. Come on, talk properly. VIX is starting to move back up. Right, it's near its IB high. It does have gap fill potential above it in towards 65, 1865. What worries me here is we're into thin structure, all right? But we are bullish overall, and that's what I've just got in my mind. I'm going to treat everything as a trap until it proves otherwise. Because I know this is a sell on an M1, but if we move above it, there won't be a sell signal yet. Remember, lower time frame shifts first, which means lower time frame will show the first trap. But we have not really shifted. There's no big close beneath here. They need to reject range here for us to think about sells. Look at the reaction once we trapped, right? Here's everyone's stops. We went underneath, Everyone stopped out. Short breakout sellers came in. Big time frame money came in and went, no thank you, we're going to buy that. Buying opportunity. If we start to hold now, what is this liquidity? There's your pattern, upside potential. If they reject this old range, yes, maybe continuation lower. But this is tricky. I know there's a lot of and ifs, but it is tricky. But momentum is upside this morning. Momentum is upside yesterday. I'm happy just to let this shake out right now. I know it's at a sensitive level and I've traded it upside all morning. Happy to let it shake out. Volume has increased in the last few minutes, right? We've started trading back up in volume. So I just want to let this shake out. I don't need to take these here. If we're gonna really get in a trend down, it's gonna start to become obvious, right? Flow zones will catch up, we'll get trapped against key levels, and we'll have opportunities to trade downside. Yeah, I was looking at IB high on VIX. Yeah, we came right into it. Same thesis as when we're looking at anything else. It would just be the opposite of ES. So VIX is trading right back up towards its opening price on the session, right? It has a gap above it. Looking at liquidity on the book, there is a buyer at that 600 level. That would be the back test of the old high. The old high on the opening range from, sorry, not the opening range, on the range inside the H1. So if I take this off, you'll see it clearly. All right, this was the stop run. We were talking about this level yesterday, 600. We were looking for this level yesterday. This was the move I was looking for, a hold and a stop run of here. Can we base above this level for extension higher? Remember, everything short until here really can just be an H1 pullback. This is what I'm talking about. Even to here, it can be an H1 pullback, right? Because the H1 is bullish. It will need to pull back, trap short-term sellers in, extend higher. That's its job. If it's going to be really, really crap on the day, then we're not going to have any form of trend, and we're going to do this. We're going to have swept the lows, swept the highs, and return into this shite range. I really don't want to see that, because that means next week we've got really bad setups. We're in the same range as we've been in for 3 weeks at that point, I think, if we look at a daily chart. If we close back inside, let's just say if it closes back underneath 620, 600, we're in this dreaded range. All of this. Failed breakdown, failed breakout, failed breakdown, failed breakout. Tightening range. It went from that to that. I'm still bullish. My sentiment is still bullish. It's not going to change until it proves otherwise. If it starts rejecting up here, maybe. But really, for me, we're rebalancing M15s, we're rebalancing H1s. Momentum is upside until there's a very clear kill candle, until we very clearly come up here and reject. I know there's a sell signal here, but until I see a very clear sell, break of structure, continuation, then I'll think about sells back down. It's not that dissimilar to yesterday. Think about yesterday, we tried to buy high with momentum, we stopped out, we had a small amount of profit on that, but really what we're looking for is that gap fill to the downside. What I would say is we have filled the gaps here to the upside. So if you look at the gap between Tuesday and Wednesday, easier to see on regular trading hours or the ETFs, we've filled that gap. So we've been efficient as a market. We're now trying to hold that gap on the ES, on the SPY. The QQQ is well above that gap. That gap on QQQ is 96, I think. Yeah, that gap on QQQ is 96. And we're trading at 498.90, almost 99. So almost 3 points higher than that. We are on that gap right now on the SPY. That gap fill was to 83. So the only gap left is downside. I don't see us coming for it. It's possible, but we'd have to trade on the ETF, on the SPY, down to pretty much 80, 579.75 on the SPY, and on the QQQ we'd have to trade down. Jesus, man, we'd have to trade down to 492.84. I mean, I just don't see that 6 point drop on the Qs to fill a gap being very efficient. I don't think so, not today. Not unless there is something to move the market. Look at the Mag 7, look at the bonds. All right, Mag 7, very bullish. Bonds, bearish, other than the 30-year, which has gone pretty much flat on the day. I'm happy to sit out these pullbacks and just wait for key levels. If you're looking to take these shorts, that's absolutely fine. No one's stopping you doing it. Right? If you see this as a breakdown, a high, if you think this is getting stuck and you're looking for a flag down, just remember, this is New York VWAP. This is normal session VWAP. This is your key level. 600 into... I'll put volume back on. 600 all the way into 530 if it really wants to go. At this block here, maybe. It is thin, I'll give you that, it is thin. I can very much see that on the volume. It's very, very thin on the session once we start breaking below the level we're currently at. I'm just interested in this liquidity here, something like this. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I just have a bullish sentiment today, so I'm not looking to take the counter trend short. That's just where my head's at right now. If it doesn't present it for me, I won't trade it. That doesn't mean you can't take that counter trend short. You can absolutely take it, but those of you who have done the course, who are in the room, will know the best trades for me and the best trades that pay always are pro bullish moves, right? When the weekly is bullish, when the daily is bullish, when the H4 is bullish, when the H1 is bullish, when the M15 is bullish, when the M5 is bullish, and when the M1 gives an entry, you have every single time frame trader trading in the same direction. Those are the trades where you will make big money. If you are trading the short right now, you are trading a pullback on an H1, on an M15, on an M5. It's not a pro trend move, it is a counter trend move. Hope that makes sense. That's why I'm waiting for the bullish moves. I can draw it out for you to make sense. If this doesn't make sense, what I've just said, I can do a very, very quick lesson and show you what I mean. So just let me know in chat if you don't understand what I'm talking about. I can do a very quick lesson. It'll only take a couple minutes, but it will mean I'll have to scroll up and you won't be watching the ticker. So looking good off this hold here. Do they reprice? Yes, trying to reclaim that 90 level. Oh, my mouse. What is a good brand of mouse and keyboard to look at? I want to get a keyboard with some hotkeys where I don't have to hit shift all the time. So I might look at the ones that have those G keys, but anyone got a good brand? I know Coop advised me one. Anyone got a brand that they really like, which are very reliable? Logic G series. All right, I'll check that out. Everyone's saying Logic. Yeah, Stream Deck. I don't love Stream Deck. Lots of people love it. I'd rather just have the G buttons down the side of the keyboard, especially when I'm typing out and showing you stuff on here and moving between Discord and stuff. Steel series. All right, I will have a look at all these Logic ones that you're all talking about. Yeah, my keyboard is no longer working. It's just decided it's going to stop working. Really odd. G9150 built-in hotkeys. So DJ Noah, are those like the G numbers down the left side? And it's like an RGB keyboard with the lights. Or are you talking about the mouse where you have the hotkeys like on your thumb? Yeah, okay, cool. I know which one you mean. I'll check that out. G keys on the side. Yeah, that's the one I like. That's the one I like. I think I will be getting that. I do like Logic. All my monitors are Logic. I think they're good. Okay, so we're trying to base out here. Possible rejection there, possible creation of our first lower high on a lower time frame, but no lower low yet to confirm it. All right, no lower low yet to confirm it. So the question remains the same thing as we looked at earlier, basically this. I'm laughing at Noah. You want to do a swap, eh? Kaz, you just lost 300 on NAS 100. Sorry to hear that. Did you stick to your process? Did you stick to your plan? It's okay taking losses as long as you're sticking to your process and your plan. This is starting to look a little bit bullish for me. I think if they're going to soak that imbalance on the M1, all right, there is a small imbalance here, which we put in after sweeping liquidity. This right here, we've tapped into it. If they hold this, break above, I think we start building liquidity for upside. Right. It's just a question of if and when that pullback on an H1, M15, M5 has finished. If that sweep down here is it, remember this was a good sweep. Sweep of the lows, trade back inside, bullish candle, trade back inside, continuation. If it can do that, it might signal the end of that pullback on the medium and higher time frames. Remember, the M1 is showing you lots of choppy action. What we really care about is the structure on the M5, M15, H1. That's what I really care about. Right, I'm going to show you what I mean now because I feel like some of you might not understand. Let's say this is our H1. All right, we're here. We're high right now. We know that the H1 will need to do this, and once it's finished doing this, we can assume it continues upside, which means inside here, the market will do this. This is like an M5 or M15, M1, whatever, right? We're looking, this is the pro trend. When we finish the pullback move on the H1, when we finish that move, we're looking for a buy signal on an M5, M15, M1, whatever you're looking at, for continuation higher on the H1. Yeah, so you're always looking, the pro trend will be when that's finished. My keyboard stopped again. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the moment where that pullback has finished. So fight right now between a bear flag forming for a continuation lower or that trap playing out for that move back higher. That's what it's a fight through. That 92 level on ES, 90 to 92, still key. Feels like it just wants to go here. It really feels like it just wants to put in a ripper to me. Trap everyone and go. Did I trade off the opening range break? On what time frame? I didn't actually look at it today, DJ. I just traded the flag really. I know they've been trading pretty well though, the first 15-minute opening ranges recently. Aaron, the stock I looked at the other week, drug, is still going good. Is it really? Is it holding its gains? Let me have a look. That is amazing. Shorts are so fucked in that. Oh my god. They just don't learn. Wow, highs of 79. I mean, look at that gap up. So we had a T+2 setup. I talked about that setup on that pullback, that second pullback day. Then we had that huge move up, and then we've done the same mid candle the next day, consolidating. All the time this is consolidating above that gap really, 34 to 25. It's bullish. I expect at some point it will come and fill that gap. Like when it will have some manipulators in it. When they're finished, when they are finished and they've hit their target, I doubt there's a like really good genuine news in this. It would be a micro float, and it's probably Chinese, I would imagine. And when they're finished, it will unwind, and it's just whether you can be there for it. DJ, M15 or M5? 5 played beautifully this morning. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Well, that first move up this morning was good. I think that's pretty much what I played off. No, I pretty much played the 15-minute. I was early. I didn't wait for the break. I was early, but I played that flag in that 15-minute move, if that makes sense. How big were the events in Ibiza and other parts of Europe? How big were the events? The ones I DJ'd in, are you talking about? 60-hour trader. Well, I held a residency at the biggest club in the world for 2 years. That was at Privilege. I think that holds 18,000 or something. Maybe not that big. It's pretty big. I also had residency at Ushuaia, Sankey's, Amnesia. Sankey's and Amnesia, or Sankey's definitely smaller. Amnesia isn't. Ushuaia was pretty big outside. And then other big clubs I played at Europe, like ones in Amsterdam, were normally pretty big. London's not really that big. I think the main room at Ministry, where I had a residency, is only like 1,500 people. Music and streams. Well, I did ask everyone that. No one wanted it. No one wanted any music on the stream. So potential bear flag coming back down to those key levels. Yeah, it was good times. It was good times back in the day. Enjoyed it. I think there's only a couple clubs I never got to play that I would have wanted to play. Space and Treehouse in Miami. I was actually offered Treehouse, but it was during COVID. Miami wasn't closed, and they wanted me to go and play. And it just felt a little bit risky. My wife had just started a job here, so I didn't really want to go and get COVID and bring it back and get her in trouble. And Womb in Tokyo I would have really liked to have played. Never got to play that. Oh, and one more. And Warung in Brazil. Never got to play that. I think that would have been my favourite. Or maybe Panorama Bar in Berlin. Didn't play that either. That would have been good. So there's a few there I never got to play. Would have been really cool. Yeah, Miami's cool. Yeah, that's it. It's just figuring itself out. It's figuring itself out. Have I seen a video from Humankind? No, I've never seen it. The way the car circus was working seems like a crazy place for a DJ set up. I'll have to check that out. I don't even know who they are. Do you know what? I'm so bad with keeping up. I don't know who any of like the current people are or who's big on the scene or anything like that. I always talk to my old business partner about it. I've got no idea. I still engineer music for people and still put stuff out, but I have no idea anymore. I keep up with my mates who are doing well, like Dom Dollar's a friend of mine. Love seeing him doing really well. Torren Foot. I was with Mark Kinchin at the weekend, MK. He was over in Austin. I saw him on the flight over. Still killing it. 30, 40 years on, still killing it. But yeah, I don't know any of the new kids on the block, let's say. I have no idea who they are. Or what the sound is. I think in the UK, Aaron, maybe you can correct me, but I think in the UK it's more like sort of techie garage almost coming back. Minimal organ house, but sped up. Yeah, I thought so. Guys like Chris Stussy and all these guys. I think Porter's still going well. Bibby, but he's recovering from cancer treatment. Yeah, exactly. That was my vibe. The deeper house stuff. That sort of 2011 to 2015-16 were really good years for music. So still holding this same imbalance on the lower time frame that we talked about. This right here, still sort of holding it. No clear breakdown. I'm very concerned about a trap for the move up for anyone looking shorts. Like I said, the momentum is upside. Look at this sell. See this sell? Look at the volume. Look at the volume on this. Low volume down here. These moves here. Low volume on the pullback. We had volume step in here on that wash. It can change very quickly. If they feel like they've trapped enough buyers up here on the volume, they can dunk it. For sure they can dunk it. It gets thin underneath. It's just tricky playing between levels. It's a bit like yesterday. Oh, sorry guys, I'm getting really frustrated with this mouse situation here, mouse and keyboard situation. A bit like yesterday, you need momentum and you need location. So yesterday we had location, we didn't have momentum. Today we had momentum, we don't have location. The best trades where you have both. Yeah, you want a good location to buy from and momentum to be with the buyers, or the other way around, good location to sell from and momentum with sellers. Yeah, you want both those things. But I'm glad I'm feeling better today. Tomorrow I'm going jet skiing to Catalina. I think there's about 6 of us going together. Should be really good fun. Hopefully the weather's looking good. Do you know what? I haven't even checked. And yesterday was crazy foggy. Let's have a look. They're leaving from Long Beach, I think, tomorrow. 77 degrees and clear skies. That's what I like to see. I'll try and get some videos. Hoping, definitely want to see dolphins. They will for sure be out there, but hoping that we get to see some whales, because we're coming into the beginning of whale season where they start migrating. So hopefully we get to see some greys would be cool. Paul missed a lot of trades because you expected a deeper pullback after a break of structure, especially in that London session. Yeah, it's been tricky, mate, with that. And what's hard with those things is once it did that pullback yesterday in New York and closed that gap, and we were inside that range, what's kind of triggered this is all the shorts who didn't stop out on that liquidation event on Wednesday, as we traded back inside, all that happens is they keep triggering their buys, right? They get triggering their stops, which are market buys back in. So it just keeps moving up and up and up and up and up. And there's no reason for the market to pull back. I understand exactly what you're saying. It's really frustrating when you know market sentiment. We know we want to be a buyer, but we can't get a good location. The best location was yesterday on that gap fill. And I got a piece of it, but I would have loved us to have done this move yesterday. If you watched stream yesterday, I'm talking about I want to be a buyer and I want to rotate to 600, right? So I wanted to buy yesterday on that gap fill down to 265, which we got, and I wanted it to go to 600 yesterday, which we didn't get. We got overnight and today. It's just tricky, mate. Like, I think that's the good thing if you're trading your own account without prop firm rules. Even if you put a micro on yesterday at 265 and close out today at 600, it's a lot. That's a decent amount of money. It's a decent amount of money. Almost 400 points, 350 points. So $200, $400, $600, $700 for just holding a swing for 24 hours with one micro. And you do that with a mini, $7,000 for holding a swing position. There is good money in swings when the market has good follow through. It just depends, like, if you can, A, if you've got the margin to do it, and B, have you got the mindset to do it? Can you cope with going to bed, you know, knowing that you're in a position and you're going to have bigger, wider stops? Yeah, above 680. Yeah, exactly. Above this pivot here, this is what we were talking about. Does it hold the imbalance? Can we get above this pivot right here and start trading back upside? And then above the IB, continuation higher. This is why I'm waiting for the longs. In my mind, the longs are a better play today. Even up high, ideally they get a trap. If we start breaking these lows, longs are off the table until we go much, much deeper. There's a buyer on the book still at 600 and there's a seller on the book at 750. Those are the pins so far on the market. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool, Matt. So Elite Trader Funding has a swing funded account. You've got a couple of them. So without me looking straight away, what kind of size can you use to hold swings? Too early for grays, Tim, is it? Need to wait another month. So 100k you can swing 2 NQ or 20. That's really good. Or 20 M and Q. And what's the? Sorry, Matt. Like I should probably just look this up. What's the? I assume there's no trailing drawdown because you're swinging. So what's the drawdown on that? What are you allowed? So Joshua says it has awful rules. Okay. Could you expand for me, Joshua? I believe you. I'm just interested. I've never looked at them ever. So potential upside coming here, guys. Potential upside coming. Key levels coming into now. Consistency rule makes it very hard to keep your profits. So I'm going to have a look at them now. Thank you for input. Appreciate it. Oh, that's no good, is it, Joshua? You don't want to do that on a swing. You don't want to keep exiting and entering. You want to be able to hold position. That's the whole point in it. Let's have a look. Elite trader funding, you said it was. Valuations. What am I looking at then? Diamond hands, is it? Hold overnight and weekends. Okay, end of day trailing drawdown, daily loss limit. Funded accounts also have an end of day drawdown. Requires 5 trading days. No scaling rule. So daily loss limit of 1,500, max trailing drawdown of 3,500. Doesn't make it super clear. So if you have a minimum of 5 trading days, Joshua, then can I put a swing on for 5 trading days and close it on the 5th day? And is that then allowed? They're pretty cheap. 100k eval, $54 right now in the sale. Profit target of 5,000. I mean, that's pretty easy to do with 2 minis. So far here, double top, holding up for a potential bear flag. All right, still trapping between the ranges. I still like the upside. The question is, has it got the juice to do it? ES definitely has relative weakness. ES trading down towards its VWAP right now. All right, this VWAP down here. Qs are strong. Can hold as long as you want till the so you could hold for 3 months. Wow, that's. I might have a look at that. I'll have a proper read up on it. Thank you for putting my eyes to it. No way you can hold for days without hitting a drawdown. I mean, yeah, you totally could. Like if you took that long yesterday that I took, if you took this long, where's the W double bottom? Okay, if you took this long yesterday, here, risking this, where do we close? Yeah, it depends how it calculates your end of day drawdown though. So I guess you're here, so you're comfortably up. There's no way. Does it count your end of day drawdown from this profit that you're in here? I don't know how it works. I have to see. 86. There's no way you're out the money there because you're only down $800 from the high if it's calculating it there. and then you've traded up all morning, so you would be currently up 15 grand on the day with no drawdown from entry, but it depends where it calculates that drawdown from overnight, I guess. I see what you're saying. Definitely interesting. So just chopping in this range now. Yes, almost at VWAP. If you hold, then you need to make more than 3x of the amount of the other trades because of the consistency rule. You can't make too much on a trade. If you hold, you need to make 3 times more than other trades. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying, Joshua. So like if I take another trade and it's like an intraday scalp and I make 1,000, on the swing I need to make 3,000. Is that what you mean? I'm just trying to understand. Okay, so potential bear flag breaking down now. They didn't get that move over the pivot yet. That's a decent amount of volume in that last candle. Okay, I understand. If you have a banger trade, you've got to make 2 to 3 more banger trades, otherwise you can't withdraw it. Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it? Because if you held that trade for like, let's say for some reason you got the start of a bull run and you held and you made 1,000 points on it, you might never get that trade set up again for another 3-4 months. You don't know. So yeah, that kind of sucks. So if you need consistent daily wins, you might as well go to another firm where their rules are easier. I see what you're saying. I think the one thing, I know Michael Patak said he would allow traders to go take positions overnight if they spoke to the risk management team there on Top Step, if they were on a live account and it made sense, which I think is cool, if they've got the money to do it, I guess. So ES right to VWAP now. All right, ES is at its VWAP right now. Yeah, there are exceptions, but in your experience, the swings are so much that majority of the time the drawdown will be hit. Okay, so what you're saying is you get in the position, you're up comfortably, they calculate the drawdown at the close of that day. So you're up, let's say you're up 6 grand, but you're only allowed 3 grand drawdown, and it like does a 50% retracement. Even though you're still up 3 grand, they count that as a drawdown and then you lose. I think that's what you mean, which again is bullshit, isn't it? Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, but then that kind of defeats the object of a swing. So we are back to New York VWAP here. This is orange line is the New York session anchored VWAP. The true VWAP is way down. Where are you? Where's it gone? Disappeared off my screen. Let's put that back on. It can't even copy and paste. Are you kidding me? Wow. Really struggling this morning with tech issues. Between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. open New York time, how much slippage is there really? Slippage, you mean spread, or you mean how much move is there? It depends. Like if you a day like yesterday or the day before where we had Tesla earnings, a decent amount, right? So it depends. We're in earnings season right now. Yeah, how much of a move rather than slippage? I get what you're saying. So ES right on its VWAP then. NQ2, it's anchored VWAP off the open of the 930 print. The reason I put that in this morning, don't always put that in. The reason I put it in is because we had such a bullish move up. Yeah, maybe manipulation underneath that wick for a move higher. Maybe SMT because ES is comfortably lower right now. Tech still holding on, all tech green. Apple up almost 1%, Microsoft 1.5, Amazon 1.8, Google almost 1.5, Meta almost 1.7, Nvidia 2.5, Tesla 2.6. Tesla on an absolute tear since earnings. Yeah, I'm just going to wait. Like I'm going to wait. I know maybe there were moves there potentially for short breakdown, but I'm just going to wait. Either it's going to provide another long setup, or I'm going to call it a day and take my profits and leave. Yeah, VIX is down. It filled that gap. Filled that gap. It's coming back to test the IB high right now. If it trades back inside, we can have an upside move on the market. But it filled that gap on the VIX that we talked about. Sorry, just replying to a ton of messages here. So many spam messages I'm getting at the moment, especially on WhatsApp. Okay, ES under VWAP. ES is looking pretty heavy here if it can't find a bid soon. Where is it coming to back test? Let's have a look. ES could come all the way back to 70s. All the way back to 70s, previous day high if it really wanted to. NQ, you'd want it to hold 600 wick. If it fails that, 57. If it gets really heavy, it can reprice these H4s, H1s. We are thin. I cannot say it enough. We are thin if we cannot hold up here. On the higher time frame chart, this is so thin, this move up, because it was overnight and this morning on a squeeze. All the volume is at the highs. If they let go of that, it can come back down here. They won't really want to do that, the bulls, because it just trades us right back inside range, which is not really what they want. Right, 25 minutes left until lunch. What's everyone's plans this weekend? What are you all doing this weekend? What have you got planned? Looking a little heavy here. So those flow zones come down towards the deeper pullback flow zones and towards the VWAP on the New York session. It is looking a little heavy here. Never got above for that breakout. If they're gonna wash, I guess you've got this structure. Oh, this sort of level here. This is where I got long off earlier, and VWAP, and the lower time frame algo if they're gonna go really deep and nasty. This trap low to here. Let's make sure that's straight. Joshua celebrating 45th birthday at the Magic Kingdom. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Jiu-jitsu and getting ready to move. Nice. Soaking more knowledge from the course. Good work, Marek. Just make sure you also get time for you. Make sure you make time to do something that you enjoy outside of work, outside of trading. Get that work-life balance set well. Are there any good games on this weekend? I haven't checked the NFL or anything like that. Is there any good sport on? I don't know who's playing who this weekend. I haven't even checked the Premier League. Let's have a look. Watched Mourinho get sent off last night against Man United. It's funny. Oh yeah, I've got a big game Sunday morning with Glenn. Forgot that. Chiefs moving to a 7-0. World Series baseball. Oh, I didn't even check that. Who have they got? I haven't even looked, Joshua. Who have the Yankees playing in the finals? Arsenal Liverpool on Sunday. Big game. Big crunch game that. Yeah, liquidity is still there at 600. He's still there, and there's a seller at 660 right now. He's still there. Yankees, Dodgers. Oh, I should know that really, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll be honest, it's the only sport I don't follow. I went to watch the All-Stars a couple years ago at Dodger Stadium. The stadium's amazing, overlooking the mountains. But I just found it so boring. Like, nothing happens. Like, and I'm a guy that likes going to cricket. I like going to cricket and drinking beers and watching that. But I found baseball so boring. Like, nothing happens at all. The new Clippers arena looks amazing. Yeah, I went actually to watch Sebastian in the comedy. Was really good about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Intuit Stadium or whatever it's called. Yeah, really good. Yeah, that was it. Just like I was there, I must have been there for 4 hours. I think I saw the ball get hit once. Just so, what's the point? Who's here to watch that? Yeah, same, Michael. I watch American football, watch rugby, watch soccer. I watch basketball from time to time. Does it have facial recognition to purchase snack drinks? I don't know. I was in the Lexus lounge, so like everything was complimentary. So I don't know on everything else. And then next door to that, you've got the I forget what it's called, that new bar where you can watch a game, where you can watch a fight, and it's like wrap around a bit like the Sphere, so it feels like you're in the stadium. Really cool. Yeah, I mean, I get the pace thing. You like the pace of the sports, not too fast. That's why I like cricket. But in cricket, like something's actually happening rather than one batter not hitting the ball. Maybe that's my naivety, which is also fine. Maybe that's just me being naive. But that's how it felt. So this is mad now. ES is coming all the way back down to the IBL. So definitely weakness in the market outside of tech. Like we said, it can backtest that 70 on the ES. Felt like a potential backtest area. Big divergence in the markets for sure. Big divergence. Nice push up there. Maybe they trap here. ES came into the block that it found this morning at its IBL, trading back towards the 5-day there. Oh, okay. So DJ Noah, so you're saying that with baseball now, they can basically, like, they're limited between each pitch. So they pitch one and then they've got, what, like a minute or 30 seconds to take the next one. Is that what you mean? Yeah, maybe I just don't understand the game enough, Capt. Maybe that's what it is. Whereas I understand all the other games. I still don't think it's for me, though. Don't think it's for me. People love baseball, don't they? They love it. It seemed to me like quite a good family game. Like in the seats, I know it was an all-star game, but they seemed to be all like regular ticket buyers, and they all knew each other, the season ticket holders, which I like. I like games like that with it built in for families. Okay, so is this a sweep for a push higher? ES currently holding its IBL, didn't quite come into it, but it did hold an old 5-minute block that we opened up from this morning. So that opening 5-minute candle it held. It's traded all the way back to opening price pretty much. Relative strength in the Qs, right? So if you're going to be long today, you want to be long in the Qs. Also back towards its 5-day there in the SPY. Bounce off the 5-day moving average just in front of it. And if we go to a higher time frame, think about this on a 5 minute, this is just a 2-leg pullback. Leg 1, leg 2, if it can pivot over here, it's bullish, and this is the end of the pullback. If it starts flushing, we're coming down here. Really important that you're looking at multiple time frames. Don't get too zoomed in for the M1, all right? It's the easiest way to get yourself in trouble. Just be patient, watch multiple time frames. So a couple of my friends know I wasn't very well earlier. I'm going to admit something to you on stream yesterday. There was 1 minute where I said to you, I'll be right back. It almost got messy on stream. I had to run to that toilet when I got off stream yesterday. It was not fun. And I told a couple of my friends last night, and they're asking me if I'm okay on stream today. Tyson, don't fight it. Don't fight it. Be patient. Be patient. If you're having a tough day, call it a day. Just be patient. I'm waiting for that long to set up. I took 2 longs this morning. I'm just waiting now to see if I can get it. Like I said, if it doesn't come, it doesn't come. I'm never going to force a trade. It's either going to set up for me or it's not. This is looking pretty good here, though. All right, it's looking pretty good. The volume's starting to enter back into the market. If we can start pivoting above these same levels, so I'd say above 63 and above 77, we can start, you know, really looking to accelerate higher. Just got one eye on the ES here because ES is approaching its VWAP. So what we're looking for is a move above 53, even above this trend, however you want to do it, and then above a move above 76, 80s for a squeeze upside. Remember, if we go to higher time frames, we're just in pullback legs, right? As you start to move up, you will see it's just a flag and a pullback leg. Remember that lesson we did earlier about what the H1's doing and what we're likely to do on other time frames, right? So we're looking for it to finish. It's looking very good now. What you don't want to see is a wick above and a fail. You don't want to see this. You want to see this hold. You want to see this liquidity here come in and buy a step back in here. And this, it's going to be safer above these levels, right? When we start getting above here, it's going to be very clear. Again, remember I said one eye on ES into VWAP. That rejection on NQ timed perfectly with ES at VWAP. They sold VWAP there. Still got a seller on the book at 750, 91 contracts up there, 700, small contract size into 700. Everything else pretty small and tapped and packed fairly tight. Got to think they got a good move, right? The buyers got a good move overnight, a good move off the New York session this morning. We're coming into lunch. There might be a certain degree of profit taking, and maybe they just walk away for the day. Who knows? We don't know, unless they're really going to run it up. I don't mind if we base here for the remainder of the day. Looking at the H1, if we can base up here, this sets up nice trading opportunities come next week. Like a Monday, Tuesday low would be really cool, or something like that. Anything like that, I'd be interested in. So we think about this on a weekly chart now. So another bullish close on the weekly, leaving a big hammer candle low. That's a very bullish sign, and it's kind of telling me that we're going to want to go for those all-time highs. Aaron, would I suggest leaving anything to run? I don't know your entry, my friend. So are you long side or your short side, and where from? And then I can give you some targets. DJ Noah, I on and off 15, 16 years, maybe a bit longer. I talked about this on stream before, but I was offered a job when I was like 21, 22, 23 in Dubai and Cairo. I ended up getting into music, and I just didn't end up taking the job. My career started to take off. And then when I started making money from music, I started trading with it, bits and bobs. Didn't really understand everything I was doing, had various different mentors along the way. And then the last 6 years, I've just been completely full-time and focused on it. Would I leave? It was hypothetical. I would have entered at 400. If I'd entered at 400, yeah, I'd be holding runners. Everything above 500, if you could allow that, basically. So a new breakdown here. Definitely selling in this market right now. SPY with relative weakness. Coming back down to its IB low. Qs with relative strength. It feels very much like we had earlier in the week. It feels like it just needs to build liquidity to do the move. I talk about it over and over again. When we're pinned near highs, you need lower time frame shorts to be trapped in. The only way we can move higher when we're near a high is by shorts getting squeezed out. You're not going to get genuine buying at the tops. Right, so it needs to trap them in. So then the question is, how far down does it need to come to sufficiently trap them in? Or is this genuine profit taking on the day? Those are the questions coming into end of week. Yeah, of course, DJ, no worries. I'll stay with you here a little bit longer into lunch, just see where we go into lunch. Dixie strong, yeah. Dixie's been surprisingly strong, but it goes against the bonds. Surprisingly strong. I saw that yesterday. Up, it was trading at 104. Where is it today? Yeah, 104 still. Surprisingly strong, I guess, into the election. I think the market's going to be tricky into the election, honestly. We're getting so close now. Joshua, thank you. Thank you for joining. Go and have a good lunch. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully see you on Monday. Be back 10 o'clock on Monday. Yes, approaching that IBL again. All right, approaching its IBL and its 5-day moving average. Same with the SPY, approaching its 5-day moving average, opening price, pre-market high, all those areas coming into on the SPY and the ES. New hourly bar in 5 minutes, right? New hourly bar in 5 minutes. This is the back test sort of area on the higher time frames, remember? Down here. Back test area. Yeah, interested how ES reacts into sort of near where we're coming into. I'd say 70 down to 65, 60s. Does it find genuine buying there on the 5-day on the old breakout area? So this would be a breakout retest model this morning. We came very close. I've only just seen this now. We came pretty close to that top Bollinger on the daily. Should have had an alert go off there. Obviously didn't get quite close enough, but hopefully you can see that. Very close to that 2 standard deviation that we talked about up here. Have to respect those levels on daily charts. VIX starts breaking out of high of day, it can come up to 19s, 1903s. Let's check a fib on that. Where can it come up to? Yeah, 1902, 50% retracement would be into 1925. So new hourly bar coming. Sorry guys, my phone is popping off this morning. Here's your new hourly candle into lunch now. Expect volume to start drying up here, team. I'll probably stay with you another 5-10 minutes and then I'm going to call it a day. And enjoy my weekend. Another green week. Green every day this week. Surprisingly, with the tech issues I've had, but I will take it. No worries, Matt. Yeah, no worries. 5-10 minutes and we'll call it a day. So 2 good trades. Waited for a long setup to come for a deeper pullback. Still not giving it. So I know that I've missed points on the shorts, but I'm just going to stick my thesis of what I'm looking for today. I'm looking for that pro trend when this pullback finishes. If it doesn't come, that'll be it. That's fine. More than enough money locked in on the day. Tim V, where in the course do I learn once and for all to never move my protective stop and add to a losing trade? I talk about that a lot in psychology towards the end of the course. Your first stop is your best stop. If you put a stop in, it's there for a reason. If you start dragging that down and moving it around, you're into a gambling psychology mode. That's normally because you've been triggered. All right, so the most important part, I know that's a rhetorical question and you're saying basically you want to stop doing it. Most important part is to understand why you're doing it. Once you can understand why you're doing it, what's happened, trading gets easier. So just use bracket orders and let them play out. And if you're going to do anything, move your stop tighter around a pivot. And size down, sizing down, honestly, sizing down makes a massive difference. Especially if you're trading something where you can have multiple accounts, you don't need size to make good money. You'll see plenty of days I make $100, $200 a day when it doesn't go exactly what I want. But when you times that by 10 accounts, 15 accounts, 20 accounts, $4 a day, that's $1 million a year. You don't need big size. I say it over and over again. It's the easiest way to lose. It's the most common way that traders lose because they watch other influencers slinging 5, 10, 15 contracts per account and they'll show the big wins, but they're not showing you all the time that they're blowing up their accounts. This should be a game of patience where you're not stressed, where you're able to enter into a trade at a good level and give it the ability to work. And when it doesn't work, you should be able to take it off and take that loss without that loss feeling like it's really painful. I think that's the key. Know what your pain threshold is. If like a $200 loss is a lot to you, make sure you're losing less, size down even more, right? Because that's when you're going to move it. If it gets to 200 and you're like, I can't take that loss. Mentally, I can't take that loss. Or 500, I can't take a $500 loss. What you end up doing is you move your stop down even more. And then you're down 1,000. I can't take that loss. It's too much money. And then you add in your contracts. You're 3, 4, 5 minis deep. And then you're down $3,000 and then you're blown up. Alex, celebrity trader, knows what's up. Who's celebrity trader? Is that a trader, or am I just not understanding what you mean? Spill the beans, 60-hour trader. Oh, me? I'm not a celeb. If anything, I'm a has-been. A has-been DJ. Once upon a time DJ. But yeah, that's what happens. It's not normally Normally we have issues with money, all right? So when you stop being process-based, on the charts, you have an issue with money. So your issue is losing too much or not making enough. And the problem with things like Twitter or X or YouTube or any of these things is seeing the amount of money someone makes is only going to make you competitive. You're going to start comparing yourself to that person. Are you watching Usain Bolt sprint and think, I need to sprint that fast? I'm going to sprint that fast. Watch me. I'm going to sprint that fast. No, you're not, because you know it's not humanly possible. The problem is these guys are showing you these massive wins, but they're not showing you their entries and exits. They're not showing you the amount of counts they've burnt through, right? So then you are getting competitive in a false narrative. Ignore all the noise. Ignore all of it. Every part of it. Ignore the top step leaderboard. Ignore what these influencers are posting of their big, massive winning days. Ignore it. Focus on you. Journal you. Don't even worry about the profits. Do you know what your best setup is and what that setup is? You'll notice today I haven't taken any shorts. I haven't taken a short today. I'm focused on the longs. I'm waiting for the longs to show up. That's my setup I'm looking for today. So I'm going to take the long as and when it sets up. When it sets up, I'm going to stick to my process. That process is either going to work or it's going to fail. But I know if I stick to my process, 73% of the time, I'm going to have a winning trade. So if I stick to that process, I'm going to lock in some money. I'm going to move on. That's where your edge is. Your edge is not doing what everyone else does or claiming that they're doing. I hope that makes sense, guys. I really hope that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Michael says he needs to work on getting away from the computer after a loss, because afterwards makes trades that don't make sense. Yes, so after the loss, you're probably just spamming trades trying to make the loss back. You're so fixated on making that loss back, that process has left the building. Yeah, it's like, what's the best way I can put it? I'll try and put it in a terminology. Imagine you're a boxer in a ring and you've trained for a fight, right? And you've got your coach next to you and you've trained for a fight and you know how to box. You know how you're supposed to execute a plan. And you get in the ring and you get in the ring with, I don't know who it is. You get in the ring with, I don't know, Wilder, let's say, and he hits you with a monster left hook that you weren't expecting, and all your technique goes out the window and you're dizzy and you're just slinging shots all over the place, and before you know it, you're knocked out. That's what it's like when you take an unnecessary loss. Your brain can't use the right part of the frontal cortex, which makes good decisions. It goes into a complete fight or flight state because it's not willing to take a loss. We're trained, and I talk about this in the course, but I'm going to share it with you now. We are trained in society to think that we need to win at everything. So we identify winning as being good. We don't identify process as being good. You need to do really well in your exams. You need to get a really good job. You need to make loads of money. You need to win at sport. We're not celebrating anyone in sport, for example, who's doing really good technique but is on a losing side. We just go, oh, they're shit. So when we come to trading, we think taking losing trades is failure. Taking losing trades isn't failure. Not sticking to the process is failure. Taking a monster winning trade where you haven't stuck to the process, let's say you've averaged down, averaged down, averaged down, averaged down when you should have stopped out, it goes your way and you make 10, 20 grand. And you celebrate that, you take that massive dopamine and endorphin hit. Yeah, I made all that money. What do you think is going to happen next time you should stop out? You're going to do the same thing again, and the same thing again, and the same thing again. But one of those times it's going to go against you, and you're going to lose everything. Trust me, that was me. I've been there, I've done it. I did it in small caps. I used to add in, I was only a short seller on small caps, and there were times I'd get so belligerent, I would add and add and add and add into my small caps for a short that wouldn't come, and I'd get manipulated out and I'd blow the account. Trust me, I understand what this takes and what you're going through. You've got to learn to reward yourself for stopping out. All right, just reward yourself. Take the stop and celebrate that stop as much as you celebrate a win. That will make a difference in your life. Is this the move, Merrick? It might be. It's protecting its IB low and it's protecting the 5-day on the ES. And it's very much looking like it might be the move, isn't it? Don't need to be early yet. We don't need to be early. You need to see how it reacts towards 58.60s. Yes, Ramus, a good trader is an excellent loser. I completely agree. I'm not an excellent loser, but I've definitely got much better at it. But when I lose, I try and be hands-off now. All right, try and be hands-off. You're very kind, everyone in chat. Tim V, Mindful Matters. Hopefully, we can talk about this stuff all day long. All right, all day long. I can talk about this stuff. If you didn't know, my background, before music, before any of that, I have a degree in sports psychology. So I understand what it takes. And I also understand, it's why I think people who have backgrounds in sport actually don't make great traders. I think it's harder for us to accept losing. I really do. I think it's harder. I think if you are someone who's a more mechanical or engineering based person, you will stick to process more. All right. People who are really good at coding and things like that, personally, I think they have an easier time trading because I think they understand when something isn't working, they can take it off. All right, coming and testing that trend now. We're looking at this wick here. All right, we start trading through that, we can trade upside. If you're going to take this long, all right, just remember, lock some in when we start moving above these, because you have, of this range, this is now a range up here. Yeah, I still think if we get through this and this and this, we can trade up here, but I'm just saying there are lots of stops here. Just be sensible, right? We're Friday and we're into lunch. Just be sensible, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, of course, Ramus, no worries. If any of you, actually, I haven't really mentioned this, but if you want to support the stream, there is a button at the bottom of your chat. I have made like a members only section now. I'm deciding what I'm going to do in that members only, and you can always donate to the stream. You don't have to, it's just there. If I help you and you feel kind, you can always do that. But I will be doing a members only section in the stream. I'm still deciding what content I'm going to build you. And I need to work out a way that people that do the course can also have the same content, which I probably have to double post it, some on YouTube and some in Discord. Do I know traders that place 100+ trades a day and do well? Yes, but they're probably not actually 100+ trades. So I know traders who trade with micros, and they probably trade 1 or 2 lots, and what they're doing is like buying a level multiple times, selling on pops, rebuying down, selling on pops. So they're riding a wave, and when you look at their data, it might say that they've traded 100, 200 times a day, but the reality of it is it's one move. They're trading trend and they're buying dips and selling pops and just adding into winners. So like it's not always reflective of the actual trade, if that makes sense, because it's round turns. When you see the amount of trades, when you get your data, when it says you've traded 100 times, that's just 100 contracts on a round turn, but not that's actually taking 100 new positions or 100 setups. There aren't 100 setups in a day, really. I mean, unless you're trading with a bot, which is, you know, trading for arbitrage or trading for, you know, the spread or something like that. I don't think there's 100 trades there. Otherwise, I always say 3 trades a day. 3 trades a day is enough. So it's still not pivoted above trend line or above this level here. It's 57. Just scanning around. We have a look on the M15. We did back test that level though. Remember on the hourly, we were talking about this old high, this 600, which we broke out from. We have back tested that. You'd need to see this hold. If this snaps, honestly, it does open the gate for a move back down into here. This orange line is an anchored view up off yesterday's low, right? Off yesterday's low. Right, so that's where swing buyers, where I bought yesterday, swing buyers are held overnight, and if they added through Asia and London, their average price right now is basically 490. Oh, Marek, you didn't need to do that. That's very kind. Thank you for supporting the stream. Very, very kind of you. We're starting to curl and coil here. It is attempting to, the flow zones are attempting to. Have a look on a multiple time frame. Holding deep pullback. 2 minute is what I like to look at normally, right? 2 minute is what I like to look at. It's a little bit cleaner. So on the 2 minute, again, you'd need to see them hold this and really a breakout, retest, pivot above here, and then we can think about stops. There's definitely an obvious level of stops around here. 77, let's just call it 70 up to 77 is a very obvious level of short stops. Everyone who got short here, 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 that's where their stops are. So if we pop this and hold, we can really hunt that 77. If they put the squeeze on through this, we're going to hunt IB high, right? But again, you're into lunch, you're lower volume now, and it's a Friday. It is a Friday. Oh, Aaron, I have no idea. It only gave me the option to do it a few days ago, and I hadn't really decided what I was going to offer for it, but I will have a look. It's up to Google and YouTube, but maybe maybe you follow other streamers. If there's a common method of doing it, I'll have a look in the back end. This is all very new to me, guys, this YouTube and streaming and all that stuff. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, cool. Thank you, mate. Yeah, hit me a DM on Discord, and I'll have a look. Anything else you guys want to chat about? I'm quite enjoying this today, so if there's anything psychology or anything like that you want to talk about, have a little chat before I leave. We are now holding the flow zones, right? On an M1, we are starting to hold these. There's probably a buy signal coming, or it's come already, all right? You don't need to take the buy signal as of when you see it, all right? Always structure first. But I would say this is starting to look pretty good. There's an imbalance here. It's holding. Flow zones are with the momentum clouds, are with the deep pullback clouds. These are low hanging fruit trades for up into there. All right, so you can think about these long. Oh, Ray, you are the best. I wish you could just hold my chart and make sure it's on the right one. Okay, so the same thing. There's an imbalance here on an M1 where you put this dip, engulf, pull back. This can potentially be a flag if it gets above this, and then you're targeting these wick highs, all of these. Just remember, golden zone is around here, 50% of this move. This is a range. All right, so respect that range. Keep one eye on ES on. Keyboard has died again. All right, definitely getting a new keyboard this weekend. Maybe a trip to Best Buy. I still haven't been to Best Buy since I moved to America. Yeah, this is completely dead. What a shame. Which means I can't clean any of this up. Oof. Grim. Where's the eraser tool? It's on here somewhere, right? I have to do it with my mouse. Anyone know where that eraser tool is? I can't find it. Oh, Tomek, thank you. I don't want to really remove all my drawings, but I might not have a choice here. This is fully given up now. Still looking pretty good here for upside. If this wasn't lunch, it'd feel even better. Will this delete now? Yes, now we have it. Right, no more drawing on the charts from me because otherwise it's going to look really messy for you. Potential flag for squeeze up, all right? Potential flag for squeeze up. Just bear in mind the higher time frame you are at point of control, right? Most of the volume on the day is right here. Key level here. 50s, basically, key level. Squeeze through that, you have potential upside move. Yeah, Labisk, that video is a very underwatched video, and I think you've been trading a while now, so you probably have a very good understanding of what your setups are. I know you traded smart money before and stuff. Michael, what do I think of the 20 trade exercise Mark Douglas mentions in his book? I'm trying to remember that 20 exercise. It was trading the same setup 20 times in a row and plotting that, right, and journaling it. I haven't read his book for a long time, but yeah, I think that's important. I mean, that's really what you need to be doing every single time. You can't get any back data until you just trade the same thing over and over again. Yeah. So that's what you should be doing. I have like a few different plays in my playbook that I'm looking for, but most of them are very, very similar. They're very, very similar in what they are. And it becomes a repeatable pattern. You'll see me draw on the charts all the time. I'm looking for a trap beneath a low, where I know one side gets trapped, a pull back inside, a hold, and then a move back up, or the opposite, right? So a trap beneath the low here, pull back inside, flip of flow zones, and a move where I have obvious targets of liquidity to upside. Same thing over and over again, because when you do that, your brain then knows what you're looking for. Capped, you said it's tapped out. What does that mean? It's tapped out. Or are you talking about my keyboard's tapped out? Yeah. 60-hour trader, you were in there, were you? I mean, I'm sure I got no qualms against Ross. I know he had to settle that lawsuit. I think 2 years ago now. Yeah, he's a decent momentum trader, but what I'd say is when you're playing small, it's very different to playing large caps or playing, a market like this where we're talking about, you cannot manipulate it, but manipulating small caps by buying momentum and then telling tens of thousands of people in your room that you're buying that momentum, they then become the liquidity for you to sell into, and they used to become the liquidity for us to short into. Yeah. I'll never forget watching him during COVID. I think it was his birthday. He traded GME to the upside the day before for like $1 million or $1 million plus, and then on his birthday he went big and lost it all. He was like down a couple mil. Same kind of era when my dad's gambled and made like he was $1 mil down and then made $1 mil up on GME. I remember those days well. Good times. But yeah, I remember Ross having a really bad breakdown on his birthday. He lost a lot of money, which just shows like on days where you're going to be emotional, if there's anniversaries of something, they don't need to be good anniversaries. They can be, tough anniversaries. You don't want to be at the desk. You don't want to be at the desk anytime. We've got double top here now, so I expect this to get run, by the way, at 56. I expect expansion through this now for upside. You don't want to be trading any time where you're going to have any additional emotional pressure. You just don't want to be there. That's great, Labisk. Look, once you get comfortable with your setups, Labisk, all that's going to matter then is your psychology. That's the last key. And the easiest way to train the psychology of your brain, honestly, is to size down. It's always to size down. Get in the good habits and size up slowly. Because it's really easy to take $50 loss, $60 loss, $100 loss, $200 loss. It's really hard to take $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 loss consistently, which is why I think trading multiple accounts can be really useful for traders, because you can limit. The whole reason for trading multiple accounts shouldn't be to make a huge amount of profits. It should be to limit your risk exposure. You should be able to stomach taking $100 loss days, $200 loss days on one account across 20 accounts. Very hard to watch yourself being down $2,000, $4,000 on the day. It's hard to stomach that. If you do that per account, really tough. Oh, 60 hour. You used your wife's name as a user. So were you trading long momentum with Ross, or were you trading the other side of him? Were you trading short side against him? He was up early, man. He'd be playing pre-market so early. 3 or 4 months in there, yeah. Looks good for upside here, guys. In my opinion, looks good for upside. The only thing going against it, ES is banging on the door at VWAP and we're in lunch. Other than that, it looks good for upside. Momentum today is upside. Just remember that. Look at an M5 chart. That looks beautiful for potential upside. Liquidity, liquidity, build the liquidity, run these stops, come for here. Sorry guys, I'll try and find a way of turning Nightbot down, because I know some of you are just being nice and asking good questions, and it's it's just trying to ban you from chat. So I'll try and get that fixed. Yeah, he traded small caps. They were always pennies in dollar stocks. Normally on like the New York Stock Exchange as well, because they'd gap up real quick on there. Looking good here, looking very good here. Love to see it. Love to see it. We were patient on stream. Those who stuck around are about to get paid. There's a sweep of those highs now. I want to see it get through that imbalance on the M1. The candle from 11:27 this morning. It's looking very, very nice here, team. Beautiful. Beautiful. Pro trend, guys. Pro trend. Trust me. It's just so much easier. Stick with the pro trend. It will pay you. All we've done this morning is build trendline liquidity. These guys, and my keyboard stopped working again. Oh, only some buttons now apparently. Fantastic. What I'm trying to say is these guys are all shorts who are intraday shorts. All right, anyone who got intraday short on here is going to become the liquidity for the market to search and hunt now. So as I said, lock some profits in on the way up. Hold your runners. All right. So we went, do we go 2 for 2 on stream and 1 before stream in the Discord? 3 for 3 on the day. ES now above VWAP. If ES holds VWAP, it's got upside potential. ES is really just trading inside the initial balance today. Just make sure you lock in again. Here, you're doing the same as the way down. Here, you're building trendline liquidity. So it might come and do like a trap and then go again. Remember, liquidity's here. If it needs to trap to build more, it will. This is all this is, as I say every day, it is a question of liquidity. Has it got enough trapped to move upside? All right, that's all it is. The big move down on Wednesday was a liquidation event. And once we got to the bottom, it was like, how many shorts can we trap in for a return back into range? If enough get trapped, we can return into range. If we return into range, we're going to take out swing shorts. Hopefully that makes sense. So like on an hourly, it's easier to see. If I go, had you on the wrong chart again, didn't I? On the hourly, right, this green box was demand, right? Old resistance, demand, 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 snap through it, liquidation event. All these buyers got stopped out, boom, straight down, all right, into old demand. Right, this is where we broke out from originally. So we came back to an area of interest. We came back to an old trend line, those trend lines which don't work apparently. We came back to an old trend line, right? So we came into it and shorts got stuck because they were too scared to get short here. They got stuck down here, right? And they got stuck down here and they caused a liquidation event the other way. So buyers stepped in here, squeezed out these shorts, we returned into old demand. Did it become new supply? No, because this wasn't genuine short selling. This was people stopping out. Once we came back in, if we held this level, there was only one thing that was going to happen. All these shorts who didn't cover all their position down here were going to get run out because this is a very classic spring. If we think about this whole area, all right, this is your range. We do a failure to break out because we broke out. We did not stay heavy on that retest. So once we hold this, there's only one place we're hunting, and that's everyone who didn't cover their short position down here. Yeah, it's a very, very classic setup, which is why yesterday I was so bullish and why today I stayed bullish, because for me, I want to stay with what I think that higher time frame wants to do. It becomes much easier. DJ Noah, probably if you watch, there's a video called Mastering Pullbacks or Pro Pullback. Hang on, let me find it and post it in chat. Give me a second. Try and find it. It's an older video. An underwatched video, like most of them on here. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to find it. There's so many videos up here. You go to my channel. here we go. Share. Let me post this in, hopefully this works. I would watch that video there. That's probably one of the better videos for pullbacks. And then there's another one on key levels, slightly more recent. I'd maybe watch that. Yeah, no worries. All right, team, I think we're going to call it there. I stayed a bit longer with you all. I'm so grateful for all of you who turn up every day and everyone that's new as well. This is looking very good here, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. There is your break, flag, push, pullback, soak, off the New York VWAP. This looks good for continuation upside. So if you're still in this long, or you just entered on that pullback, just hold your runners. Make sure you're taking profit. You like respect where you are. You are inside initial balance, right? So basically the IB low on ES is this. This is your range. Yeah, so respect it. If we get outside here, you have more upside potential. Stick with the longs. They're going to pay you more today. I promise you, stick with the longs. That's why I haven't been taking shorts. And I will be back on Monday at 10 o'clock. Thanks, everyone. Thank you those who donated and became members, and everyone that's joined the Discord community, everyone who turns up every day. I can't express to you how thankful I am. It means a lot just to sit here and do this with you every day. I absolutely love it. Have a fantastic weekend. Use hard stops. You know the score by now. I'll be back on Monday. Peace out. Have a great time. Bye.